Hello everyone, welcome to GoGo Getaway National Scrapbooking Day Sketch-a-thon. If you head over to the Facebook group, you will see that we have a load of sketches up for you, and we are, you can play along with as many or as few as you like. So there's a whole load of them in there. You can take part and do all of them, or you can just do one of them, or you can do none of them. But I know that lots goes on National Scrapbooking Day. But you're also welcome to combine with other challenges that's going on, and just have fun. Just have fun making layouts. That's what it's all about. So you can see that there is my sketch that I'm working towards. It's a bit of a one outside of my comfort zone because it has a large photo on it, and I tend to work with smaller photos. So I have printed my photo large. Well, when I say large, it's 6x4 size, and normally my 6x4 photos I print with borders, so they're slightly smaller, quite a bit smaller, about 3.5 by 5 normally they turn out, but this one is true 6x4, and I'm going to put it in a frame. So I'd already done a little bit of planning before I started this layout. I got my circle, I'd figured out what background I was going to use, I'd figured out my photo, and I'd figured out my frame. So you can see there that now I have this big old photo, which is actually much bigger than 6x4. It must be, oh goodness, let's measure it, 6.5, or it might even be 7 by 5. I can't stand that size. Yeah, it is 7 by 5 the frame is. So I have even though my photo is not actually 7x5, it's only 6x4, it's within a 7x5 frame, so it's a very large element for my page, which I say is totally outside of my comfort zone. However, I was determined to work with the sketch and go for it. So I've got a large circle that I've cut from, oh, by the way, I forgot to say that I'm using the Simple Stories Boho Sunshine collection. It's really lovely. If you've got lots of summer holiday photos or just summer photos, perfect, absolutely perfect. It's lovely, full of lovely fun icons, sunshine and flowers and lovely things, stripes, all sorts, and rainbows and smiley faces, and cactuses, which is ideal for me because I go on holiday to Lanzarote all the time, and there are lots of cacti there. So, okay, I have picked a solid yellow background. I love that colour. I love scrapbooking with yellow. So I've done that. I've trimmed it down to about 10.5 inches square, stuck it onto a white background. And then I've got my photo in a frame, 7x5, a large circle on the left, which is another one of the Boho Sunshine papers. It has sunshines all over it, super cute. And then I've gone away and I cut out some more circles. I've used metal dies to do that, to cut out some smaller ones. So I needed to bring some circles into the top right to allow for the top right element on the sketch. And then there was another circle underneath the photo on the big circle on the left. So I had a look at what I could do, and I wanted to pull through some of the same patterns. So I cut circles from the striped paper, and I've got one under the photo and one in the top right. And then I've also pulled through another one of the 6x8 papers with the flowers on, the greeny one with flowers on, because that is the same pattern that's on the frame. So it basically just means that I'm repeating the same elements up in the top right corner as I am in the bottom left. So it just means it works well, balances, has a bit of flow. There are no rules in scrapbooking really, but I do find that certain things, if you do them, makes your layouts look better. That is just something that I tend to try and stick to. If I'm doing clusters like this, I do try and pull through the same kind of elements. So that's what I'm doing here. You can see that that paper is there and now it's repeated at the top. And also I'm going to, there's the sunshine icons all over the big circle. I'm going to add one of those into the top right cluster as well. So again, just pulls everything through. Okay, so you can see the bare bones of the layout coming together now. It's all coming together quite well. I do enjoy when I do a layout like this with a big pattern square in the middle. I do like my elements on the page to come off of the side and go up to the edge of the white rather than all be contained within the middle pattern paper square. So you can see that I've done that. I've got both my circles are overhanging the edge, and I will just trim. They actually overhang the edge of the layout as well, so I'm going to trim those off either with scissors or my trimmer, and then that's basically the bare bones of my layout. My photos in its frame, it didn't quite fit. I had to put a strip of cardstock over the back of it as well to cover up the gap, but that worked. And now I'm raising that up on foam pads and sticking that in place there. So I thought, there we go, I'm just chopping off those edges there, turned over the layout, can see it really, really clearly. So normally I would do that on my trimmer. I don't know why I use my scissors. Okay, so now I'm looking to embellish the layout. So the bare basics are there. So now I can just start adding bits and pieces, which is my favourite part to do. The first part I always find a bit more of a struggle, where to put things, how to arrange things on a page. But on this occasion, that was all done for me because of the sketch. So that was easy. And now I just get to add all the little fussy bits and pieces. So I've got the cactus paper from the collection that I've used on a different layout. So I had some leftover cacti. I don't like the word cacti. It doesn't sound right, but cactuses I know is grammatically incorrect. However, we'll go with it because that's what I prefer. So I've got cactuses that I've cut from a pattern paper. I'm just going to layer some at the top right. I've got a couple of bramble fox perspectives, the yellow tag at the top there. I've got the word summer as an arrow on the bottom of my frame, and I just thought I would get some of those in, trying to use up some of my bramble fox stash. I have plenty of it, and adding in a few flowers. I want to build up the embellishments on the bottom left corner of the frame. However, there was a camera on the bottom left corner of the frame, which I really liked. But I think it's a real shame to cover it. But then on the other hand, I wanted to build up an embellishment cluster and put lots of things there. So yeah, unfortunately, the camera basically got covered with all the other things. So I have the cactus there. I have a coffee cup there. I have smiley face, I have a flower, and the word summer. So yeah, it's all came together quite nicely, and I will add more to that as well, like brads and other things too. Okay, so just going to kind of get everything stuck in place now before I move on to all the finishing touches. Okay, so everything is now stuck down, and I'm just going to finish off the last few little details on the layout. So I'm just adding some more icons and flowers and bits and pieces. So I'm looking at the foam stickers. I always really enjoy the foam stickers. First of all, because they stick and they stay. Anything foam sticks really well. Anything chipboard doesn't. But the foam ones I always really like. They've got lots of titles on and other icons as well. So I pulled off a few bits from there, although I didn't use a big title on this occasion because I already have my word summer in place. I've added some enamel dots, and I've added some decorative brads too. Just building up on the two clusters, the one bottom left of the photo and then top right of the layout, just adding and adding and adding. Lots of little bits and pieces, and I just like to have lots of different textures and layers, and I just like to have different things. So I've got ephemera, I've got circles, I've got bramble fox perspectives, I've got fussy cut items, I've got enamel dots, I've got decorative brads, and now I'm adding sequins as well. So just reached for my Spiegelmama Scraps stash of sequins. Do love sequins, and I am adding a number of those in place in each of the clusters as well. So just getting those stuck down with some glossy accents. I need a new bottle. It's becoming increasingly difficult to get what's left out of the bottle. I shall have to add one. And then I wanted to add some journaling strips. Now, on the sketch, the journaling is in the top right cluster, but I couldn't make that work because I'd already filled my top right cluster with embellishments. There was definitely no room for journaling up there. So I did think, and I'd also stuck sequins in place too. So I hadn't even given myself any space underneath the circle because I've got sequins and flowers there already. So I thought, well, I wanted to do something there to represent the journaling strips on the layout. So I've just added a couple of label stickers from the sticker sheets. I always enjoy using those. The phrases on them are always very apt. I always love them. So I've just put a couple of those in place that say love life and happy vibes. Then I'm going to hand write my journaling around the edge of my circle because I just didn't want to mess up the rest of the design. If I'd put my journaling over on the right hand side in that yellow gap, then it would have just made the layout off kilter. So I'm just going to add it around the outside. However, I have forgotten to do that before I have splattered with white paint. Always a big, a big mistake, as you would think that I would know by now, because now I can't write on my layout because it's wet. So, oh dear, I'm going to give it a go anyway, and just try not to get myself covered in paint, but of course I did, and smudged it in some certain places as well. So anyway, I'm writing just a little bit of journaling around the outside edge of that circle, and I wish that I'd done it the other way round so that I don't have upside down writing, but hey ho, these things happen, it's all good. And adding my date at the top right. All right, so there we go. That is it, all finished. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the layout, and I hope you enjoy all the sketches we have for the National Scrapbooking Day 2023 Sketch-a-thon over on the GoGo Getaway Facebook group. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today, and happy National Scrapbooking Day. Happy scrapping. Bye.